You think you know me.
So welcome back to my new video, friends. I am Harsh and you are watching Pro Wrestling Predictor. So now in this video you will see my preview and predictions for next week's episode of Monday Night Raw. So it is going to be an exciting video. Please watch till the end. And if you are new to our channel, do subscribe and also click that bell icon to get notifications whenever I will upload new videos. So let's start. Last week we saw Nia Jax defeated Naomi in a singles match, so I think on next week's episode of Raw we will see a singles match between Shayna Baszler and Lana. If this match happens, I think Shayna Baszler will win this match. Last week we saw Damien Priest defeated Elias in a singles match, so I think on this week's episode of Raw, Damien Priest will have a singles match with Jackson Ryker and he will defeat him. Last week we saw a Raw Tag Team title match between the team of Adam Pearce and Braun Strowman against the Hurt Business. I think on this week's episode of Raw we will see a singles match between Braun Strowman and Shelton Benjamin, and for the result I think Braun Strowman will win this match. Last week we saw Mustafa Ali pinned the United States Champion Riddle in a singles match, so I think on this week's episode of Raw we will see a singles match between Riddle and any member of the Retribution except Mustafa Ali and of course Reckoning. If this match happens, I think Riddle will win this match. Last week we saw Charlotte Flair called out the Raw Women's Champion Asuka for a match at WrestleMania and she defeated Shayna Baszler in a singles match, so I think on this week's episode of Raw we will see a singles match between Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax. Last week we saw another bizarre segment from Randy Orton, so I think on this week's episode of Raw we might see another bizarre segment of Randy Orton involving Alexa Bliss and the twin Randy Orton. Last week we saw Drew McIntyre defeated Sheamus in a very good singles match, so I think on this week's episode of Raw Sheamus might demand another match against McIntyre at the Fastlane pay-per-view, and I think WWE might add the stipulation that the winner of that match will face the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. In last week's main event, Bobby Lashley defeated The Miz in a lumberjack match to become the new WWE Champion. So on this week's episode of Raw, he will celebrate his title victory. I think Braun Strowman might interfere him, or maybe The Miz can demand his rematch. I think if Lashley will defend his title at Fastlane, then Miz will interrupt him. So that's it. These are my preview and predictions for next week's episode of Monday Night Raw. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Until then, goodbye.